Hello and welcome. This video is going to walk through how to register as a supplier in Oracle so that you can get started bidding on opportunities with the city of Detroit. We start at this page, which is linked in the written guide, and we start by entering our email address. So I'm going to enter in my email address. This should be the email address that you plan to use as your primary means of interacting with the city. So everything will be tied to this email address. I'm going to make this a little bigger so it's easier to see. And you get a prompt telling you that a code is being sent to your email address. This code usually arrives in under a minute. So we'll wait until that code appears. And I am doing this demo in real time, so you can see how long it actually takes to get registered. So we should have this code any minute. Here it is. I'm just going to copy this code from my email, paste it right here, and click continue. The nice thing about that system is that if you do get logged out or if you have to click the save button at some point and come back, you can always put in the same email, get a new code generated, and you'll pick up right where you left off. There are only 4 pages to fill out here. This is very streamlined and very straightforward. The first thing we need to do is fill out our company details. So we're going to fill in a company name. I'm just going to call my company example company A. I can put in a website if I want. This is optional. Company A at or we'll just call it www.companyaa.com. I pick my country. For most, that will be the United States. And then I'm asked for a taxpayer ID. We ask that you don't put in your DUNS number or tax registration number and just put in your taxpayer ID with the federal government. I'm just going to put in a 9-digit number. And we do ask that you put in the number just as numbers, no dashes, no spaces, no other characters. If you're a US-based business, this should be a 9-digit number with nothing else. If, anticipating a question, if you try to register a business where we already have a business under that name or with that tax number, you'll get a little message when you try to click to the next page that says we already have a business registered under that number. If that's a surprise to you or you need help navigating that, we encourage you to reach out to Procurement in the Cloud at detroitmi.gov. But for the purposes of this, I'm putting in a name that doesn't exist in our system, an ID that doesn't exist in our system. And the last 2 things I have to do on this page are pick my organization type. We'll say I'm a corporation, but I could also pick nonprofit or something like that. And my supplier type. Your supplier type should always be supplier. If you are registering here, supplier is the correct supplier type because that's what's going to enable you to view and bid on city opportunities. So this is totally completed with my company name, country, taxpayer ID, and organization type and supplier type. So I'm going to click continue. If I decide that I need to go back and look at something else, I can always use this panel to navigate. So I can just click right back to company details. Oh, it's going to make me fill in the required field. So I'll do that first, but then I'll show you how to go back. So I'm just going to fill in my first name, my last name. It's already got my email address, the email address I signed up with. So I can just fill out these. It is good practice to fill in a number as well. So I'm just going to put in a phone number. I'm going to put in a job title. And it's very important when you're creating a contact that you make sure that yes, yes, and the check mark are selected. So you want this to be an administrative contact, you want to create a user account, and you want to assign the COD supplier role. This is basically what sets you up to access the supplier portal. So if you check no on one of these or uncheck this, you won't have full access to the supplier portal to be able to look at bidding opportunities, bid on things, invoice, etc. I'm going to go ahead and click save here, just as a matter of good practice. And then I'm going to show you, if you click back to company details now, you can see what you put in. If you realize that you made a mistake with something here, your taxpayer ID was wrong or something, you can make the change that way. So you're not locked into only going forward. You can use this panel to navigate. Okay, so we've got our contact put in here. I can also click add another contact if I want to add another person, and I'll get the exact same layout here. In this case, I'm just going to just have the one contact. But if you want to add another contact, you can add as many as you want, and it's always exactly this format. All right, let's go ahead to addresses. All right, you do need to specify at least one contact and one address for a registration. Again, you can specify more, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But for each address, you're going to put a name. So in this case, I'm just going to call this Detroit. And you're going to check off all 3 of these boxes. Even if one of these boxes doesn't seem applicable, we highly recommend that you check all 3. Again, this is about creating your access to the supplier portal so that you're able to do everything that you might need to do in the future. So even if you don't have any purchase orders yet, you want to have received purchase orders checked so that in the future, if you are awarded a contract, you do have a purchase order, you're all set up for that. So everyone registering here should have all 3 of these boxes checked. I've already said that on the first page that I'm in the United States, so I'm going to put an address here. I'm just going to use 313 Detroit Street. One tip is if you put in your postal code, it'll actually auto-populate your city and state. Again, I'm going to put in my email address. This does not have to be the same email address that you registered with, but often it will be. And same thing with the phone number. Putting in this information is good practice and really helps the city to reach out if there's any situation where there's a question about your account or anything like that. It's good to have this contact information tied directly to contacts and addresses. It's going to ask me which contacts are associated with this address. If I had multiple contacts, some might be with one, some might be with another. In this case, I'm just going to check the box. The one contact is associated with the one address, and I could click add another address and fill out another address in exactly the same format. I'm going to save again, and I'm going to click continue. And the final page that I need to think about is products and services. Now, in some ways, this is the most important page. The other pages have great information about your company, and that's obviously very important, but products and services is what enables the city to contact you when there's a bit of interest. So filling this section out very carefully is what lets the city let you know and invite you anytime there's a bidding opportunity that might be relevant. Now, you can scroll through this list and see all of what we call our browsing categories, which are denoted by letters. And you can click these little triangles to expand them, see what's available under them, and just check off everything that's of interest. That's an absolutely fine way to do this. You can also use the PDF that's linked in the written instructions, and you can see the same list of browsing categories and click into the ones that you care about. So maybe I'm interested in information technology. I click this and I see all the subcategories. And now I can use the search much more effectively. I'm just going to click to return to the table of contents. So let's say I am interested in information technology. Rather than searching for information technology or computers, which will only bring up codes that have those precise words, if I search for H period, because H period is information technology, and I hit enter, I'll see information technology, and I'll see all of the codes underneath it. Now, when you're selecting codes, you can select them one of 2 ways. You can check off the box next to a browsing category, and this will alert you anytime a bid is published under any of these categories, H1, H2, H3, H4, etc. Or you can say, I really only do audiovisual equipment and elections equipment, and you can just check off 1, 2, and only get notified for H1 or H2. That's entirely up to you, and you can do a combination of these. So maybe I'm going to do H1 and H2, but then I'm also going to search for, let's say, demolition. So I'm going to look for D period. And let's say I want to get notified about all the demolition options. I can click view selected and it'll show me I picked H1, H2, and D, which means that D1, 2, 3, 4, etc. are all going to be on my notification list. Again, that means that anytime the city puts out a bidding opportunity under the category H1, H2, or any of the D categories, you'll get an invitation letting you know about the opportunity. So again, we really encourage you to use to go through this once carefully and make sure that you've got exactly the combination of products and services that you provide so that we can contact you when there are items of interest. Once you've done that, let's say I'm happy with my selections here. Once I've done that, all I have to do is click submit. And I'll get to this screen that says success. My registration request was submitted. And there will be an email sent to you, but if you're trying to get in as quickly as possible, I'm just going to include the instructions here for what you'd want to do next. You'll go to the Oracle Supplier Portal sign-in page, which is also linked in the PDF guide. And all you need to do here, you may not have a password configured yet. So what we recommend doing the first time is just clicking Forgot Password. You'll use the username or email address that you signed up with. You'll click Forgot Password, and then you'll click Submit. And when you click Submit, and I'm not going to do it just because I don't want the system to get confused, but when you click Submit, this will send an email to this email address. You'll click a link and follow the instructions for setting your new password, and then you'll be able to log into the Oracle Applications Cloud or the Supplier Portal directly. So thanks so much for watching. Very excited for you to get registered with the City of Detroit and start using the Supplier Portal to find and bid on opportunities that may be of interest. Have a great day.